Alright, how's it going, guys? I wanted to take this time. I needed to speak about this. If you look at Hillary's history with LGBT rights, she has claimed time and time again that marriage was between a man and a woman and this and that, and she cited her religion, and she cited this, and she cited that. And many people are like, oh, well, she's there now. She's gotten there. Okay, I give you that. She's there now. But what about all the death in between her getting there and the time when everybody else was already there? Because she was one of the last Democrats to actually start getting on board. There were Republicans that sided with LGBT rights before Hillary Clinton. I mean, think about that. And so you people that sit here and act like there's nothing wrong with it, or that there was nothing wrong with this, I want you to hear this. Because Hillary speaking in 2004, in all the other times, in all the other interviews, and when she was speaking during the last presidential race, she said, no, I'm for civil unions, I'm for this, everything, but I'm for same-sex marriages. Everything except for I'm for equality for all. That's what this is about. It's about equality. I don't care what your belief system is. Believe in the fact that if you have a fucking right to do it, so does the person next to you. I don't give a fuck what you think. But let's go back to the task at hand. Because Nerea Johnson and Brandy Coleman were shot to death by Paul Moore when Moore learned after a sexual encounter that Johnson was transgender. Moore then burned his victims' bodies. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to 120 years in prison. That was in 2003. In July 31st of 2003, 37-year-old Glenn Kapinski was shot and stabbed in the back by a 17-year-old Gary Herty, a straight-A student, star athlete, and Eagle Scout in Winnebago County, Wisconsin. Prosecutors contended that Herty murdered Kapinski to see if he could get away with it. Herty pleaded insanity, claiming he killed Kapinski in a murderous rage after a consensual sexual encounter with the victim, because he felt a homosexual act was worse than murder. The temporary insanity mitigation plea was not upheld, and he was found guilty and received a life sentence. August 2003, Amoni Spalding, a black 25-year-old trans woman, was shot to death in Washington, D.C. by Derek Antoine Lewis after he discovered she was trans. July 22nd, 2004, 18-year-old Scotty Weaver of Bay Minette, Alabama was murdered. His burned and partially decomposed body was discovered a few miles from the mobile home in which he lived. He was beaten, strangled, stabbed numerous times, partially decapitated, and his body was doused in gasoline and set on fucking fire. Is that what you fucking... That's what you think is okay? Hillary, at that time, was the one that was inciting that fucking hate. She came out in the Senate as the most powerful woman in America and spoke negatively about this situation. And what do you think that did? Do you think that that's any different than fucking Donald Trump spewing his hate at one of the rallies? What is the difference? This is not who I'm going to elect. I am not going to vote for this woman. You can't make me vote for this woman. You can't make any other person vote for this woman. I can go on. That's just a couple names from fucking 2003, America. Do you want to know what? If you really want to fucking change this shit, change it. That goes by not voting for the same people that keep doing the exact same shit that destroys our fucking country. Get your head out of your ass, phone bank, send money to Bernie, and make this shit fucking happen. Because this shit is getting old. I'm tired of hearing about Hillary. I'm tired of reading posts that are... No, there is a huge difference between Bernie and Hillary. Bernie made the first friggin' Gay Pride Day in Burlington, Vermont in 1985. Okay? Almost 30 years later, Hillary was still not on board. From that point, think about that. 20 years later, 27 years it took her to catch up with Bernie? Logically, think about that. Is that the kind of person you want? How much death is on our hands? If we listened to a guy like Bernie back in the 80s, how many of our kids would still be alive? How much death? How much? I mean, do you know what goes through the mind of somebody that's thinking that way? That their life is that bad, that people don't love them or care about them that much, that they have to take their own lives. They feel they have nothing in this world. They feel they have nobody. And we allow them to think and feel that way by our policies. We need to change this. Please. The only way we are going to change all of this is not by electing someone that changes their mind every time. No, it's by voting in people that never change their mind because they choose the right decision every fucking time. His name's Bernie Sanders. Get to know him. We are the 99%. Get to know us. I promise you, we aren't going away. You can do whatever you want. We are here to stay. We are going to be the truth and everything else that people need to hear. This stuff isn't going away. No matter what happens, no matter what kind of things you guys try to tell us, I promise this stuff will be on the front line for the next however many years until all of this stuff changes. Progress is not something that we find. It's something that we create. Progress doesn't come at the hand of doing the exact same things we always do. Like Bernie said, we have to be different. To get him elected, we have to do different. We have to think outside the box. We're not Republicans. We're not Democrats. We're Bernie-crats, and we're Bernie or bust.